Hello, Postdoc Chronicles, week number 78 right here. And today, before we dive into it, I'm featuring a game on the Nintendo Switch known as Earthfall Alien Horde. So this is basically like a Left 4 Dead clone on the Nintendo Switch. I always wanted, for Valve or to port their awesome, zombie cooperative shooting on the Nintendo Switch, Left 4 Dead 1 and Left 4 Dead 2. But I think, yeah, they've been lenient. They've been milking their Steam because I think they're getting a lot of money from Steam. So even though they don't make, even if they don't make games anymore, I think they're still making a lot of money. So I don't know if they have like the motivation to remake it or to remake a third Left 4 Dead that game. But as long as Left 4 Dead is not yet on the Nintendo Switch, this one right here is a perfect clone. It's basically Left 4 Dead in every way, except that the only thing that they've changed it is instead of like having a zombie horde to fight with, this time you're fighting alien monster, but it's still the same. Same characters, four characters. You choose from the four of them, and then you select a certain campaign, and then you fight through it all the way to the end. So it even has like the corresponding like the zombie supers from the Left 4 Dead. So you have like the tank, then you have like the witch lookalike, the hunter, the smoker, the boomer. I even don't know their names in Earthfall. I just call them their corresponding names in Left 4 Dead. But it's so much fun. You can play it alone. That you can make the AI very good, or I don't know. You can make them like lousy if you want it to be a little bit challenging. You can play online. You can play with friends locally. So it's so badass. I think that one of the few things I think that they did that's I don't recall I've seen in Left 4 Dead is they have this this barricade things that you can like put on the door and stuff. But other than that, it's Left 4 Dead through and through. So you start the campaign, you pick up your weapons, you pick up health items, you pick up like grenades and Molotov and all this thing. And in here you can actually one of the new things again that's not in Left 4 Dead is you can also craft like your own weapon. There's like a crafting system built in, but other than that, it's very good. It looks like Left 4 Dead. It feels like Left 4 Dead, but for me, personally, I still prefer zombies. I still prefer shooting zombies as opposed to Alien. But this makes for a very good clone, and the HD rumble is done very well. And yeah, it's a bit in the later parts of the stages, it gets really hard. So you have to like crank up the AI a little bit, or look for a human player. But other than that, it's very good. It scratches that Left 4 Dead itch that I have for the Nintendo Switch. But I'm still hoping that eventually they bring a Left 4 Dead for the Nintendo Switch. But anyway, let's go to the Postdoc Chronicles. So one of the things that I've been doing this week is in this MUED project. There's a paper that actually tried to write a script, or like an implementation of MUED on Pythia 8. So they have a paper, they have like a list of scripts and so on. I was able to make it run. My only problem is that I couldn't make HepMC to work. It's actually only this time that I learned, basically that the reason why you have HepMC, the purpose of HepMC is that it converts the output of Pythia to the usual format, the HepMC format, the way we store. That's like the conventional way that we store events after we do the simulation. So actually the output of Pythia, if you read like the for example, the main42.cc, you can see in there that it's calling the HepMC, and then the HepMC is actually the one storing the events and saving it into a HepMC file. So in the MUED implementation of the paper in Pythia 8, they actually don't have that. They have the Pythia implementation, it runs, but they don't save their events into a HepMC file. So I had to manually input in the script the HepMC, and then among other things, I have to like point to it the location of my LHA PDF, and then point to it, download the specific library that they've been using, and so on. But I can't seem to get the HepMC to work. So I can generate events like Pythia runs fine, and the funny thing is, if I run my Pythia on its own, it can find the HepMC. Like I basically copy the exact block of codes that calls the HepMC library, so it converts the events into HepMC. However, the moment I use the script for the MUED, they can call the Pythia, And then the moment Pythia attempts to convert it into HepMC, it can't find, it can't find specific headers, specific libraries, even though it's located there. So I'm still trying to figure out how come when I run it on its own, it can find HepMC, but then via the MUED implementation of this paper, it couldn't find FMC. So I'm still figuring that out. And then also last, I believe Tuesday, yeah, last Tuesday, so Deepak already scheduled his weekly meetings with his JET subgroup, and me being the senior member because I'm the only postdoc so far. Deepak had a postdoc before me, but Dibarati, but I think she's done now. And during the time, Deepak didn't have this weekly meetings because the group hasn't reached a critical number, like he said. So I don't know what his critical number is. But so since I was the senior member, I had to present the first topic, and the first presentation that I did is on Deepak asked me to read this paper on entropy of a jet, a paper in a physics review letter. So Deepak knew that I had a background on entropy and all these things, information and stuff. And the funny thing is, in that particular paper, they used the alpha equals one. The alpha equals one special case of the Rényi entropy, whereas in my postdoc dissertation, when we did a quantum entanglement characterization, I used alpha equals 2 of the Rényi entropy, which is related to purity, which played a very huge role in my PhD dissertation. Okay, but anyway, this particular paper, basically what they did is they used the von Neumann to measure the entropy of a jet. And in order to do that, they had to construct. So the hard part is, analytically, they had to calculate the density matrix of a jet. So if you have a jet, if you want something to be considered as a jet, what would be its density matrix? So basically, density matrix is the generalization of the wave function in quantum mechanics. So what is the rho, the density matrix of your jet? Which environments do you trace out? So in the papers, they select a specific critical energy value and a critical resolution, or a critical radius R, and then anything below that, the soft ones and the collinear ones, they trace them out. And then this hard stuff that are left, these things with a larger momentum, this density matrix is what they term the density matrix of the jet. And then they plug it into the von Neumann in entropy, which is a function of rho, basically. And then they proceed to calculate the entropy. So one of the important results is that they were able to show that as the things in LHC collide, and as the things evolve, as the partons, do the showering and the splitting, the entropy actually increases. So they show the function of the entropy as a function of the radius, the R, which basically, as if you imagine the remnants of the shower or the fragmentation, these are actually increases. And they show that, indeed the entropy increases with R, which in turn increases with time. So they were able to show that at least entropy in the LHC, at least in a jet, as it evolves, it also increases. So they suggested that, this could be used as a discriminator if you use like machine learning. I don't know how, it's just their suggestion. But basically, they gave a new variable that we can look at when we study jet, and this variable is entropy, and it's a PPRL paper. The crux, I think, is the analytical calculation of the density matrix, and then consequently the calculation of the entropy. I think it's hard to do analytically, but anyway, yeah, that's the paper, that's the report. And then next week would be another presentation from another member of the subgroup of Deepak. And then finally, also, I already see, but my qualification task has already been approved in Atlas. And again, it has something to do with the implementation and the validation of the recent version of Pythia, which is 8.3. So 8.3, I've read the Pythia page in Hepforge. So it's like they said that the evolution from 8.1 to 8.2 versus 8.2 to 8.3. So the gap, I mean the number of changes is more significant, that from with the jump from 8.2 to 8.3 versus 8.1 to 8.2. So I need to make sure, because Pythia, within the framework of within the framework of Atlas, they also use different MC generators to simulate events, Sherpa, Herwig, Pythia. So they need to make sure that the moment Pythia comes up with a new version, they need to make sure that it is validated with the specific results that they have. It is still it is consistent with what they had before with the previous version, and basically I will write, job options. I don't know if I am gonna implement that, but making sure that this new Pythia works in the current Atlas framework. So I'm gonna start that now. I'm really reading some MC stuff with the Atlas, and then the nice thing, the nice perks that you get when the moment you have your qualification task is that the some of the protected pages in Atlas, even if you're an Atlas member, there are specific pages that I can't access, for example, in the wiki if I want to do some tutorials, because they are protected. They're restricted to members who are already starting, or who already have done their qualification tasks. But since I already have an approved qualification task, so like my starting date, I think technically is like February 1. So I need to do that for 1 year, and then after that, if I'm able to do that, then I'll become part of the Atlas author list in the Atlas publication. But anyway, thanks so much, guys, for watching. This has been Postdoc Chronicles, week number 78. I'll see you next time, and bye bye.